Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Devil May Cry commentary, as we enter the corrupted world. So yeah, as we pretty much power up everything that we have to get, we've pretty much got everything we need, apart from yellow orbs that you can pretty much just sort of stack up all the time, really. I think the only ability I have yet to show off is Vortex, which is, well, I mean, I don't technically use it with a last orb because it's a wee bit useless, but you will be seeing it in the final boss, because there's actually a mechanic that I actually didn't know you could do, but whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'll talk about it when we get to that a little bit later. But in the meantime, though, Philosopher's Egg is all rip-roaring and ready to go, and we need that to react to the mirror back within, well, the origin point of a Super Dante 64 adventure. Oh, Bloody Marys / puppets. Oh, it's all gone. Oh, well, we can at least get some tasty red orbs. Anyway, on to slightly more relevant topics. Yeah, I plan on, in terms of recording batches, I plan on finishing this game tonight and, moving on to greener pastures. So, yeah, that pretty much tells us that we're pretty much on the home run stretch of the game at this stage. Particularly, but since we are actually entering the underworld, well, for what little we actually get to see of it, but yeah, Devil May Cry's underworld. It's, quite interesting, actually. It's, not quite fire and brimstone, but it is... Well, you know what, you'll see as we take our dive into this painting. Here we go! Dante has looked at the Power Star. Which I guess technically means Vital Stars, Blue Orbs, Untouchables? Which I don't think I've actually shown off just yet, but, interesting. Oh, and an Untouchable right there! Speak of the devil, who may cry, but devils never cry. Because tears are things only humans can have. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, do plan on finishing this tonight, so 3 more parts, which pretty much constitutes for another week's worth of commentary stuff for people, but the doors vanished due to evil powers. Scary. So yeah, just head towards the mirror. You can't do this immediately because you do require the powers of the elixir and Philosopher's Egg, so yeah, just make your way back there. As I watch this in fucking telesnap vision, you know, due to my editor lagging as per usual. Ah, nostalgia. But yeah, now the mirror power starts activating, so now we're getting into Tormented Souls territory. And now we enter the corrupted mirror. In effect, that was slightly better done on the PS2 original, but then again, I already talked about that with graphical effects, and once again, singing Masami Ueda's praises. Love the soundtrack for, well, the Mirror Dimension version of this world. It's incredibly creepy and, must be a real taste of what the Castellans had went through when, you know, Mundus had completely conquered this place. Here, the statue, the Watcher of Time, is just an illusion. Oh, the horror. Red orbs have no place here. They are of no use. But yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, when I think of Visions of Hell, you know, the soundtrack here, the warped dimensions, and especially is what we're going to be seeing outside, both in terms of creatures and, well, yeah, the little lighting schema that we have out there. I mean, it's a toss-up between either this or Doom 3 that has, well, I mean, it's childish to say my perfect version of Hell, because Hell is a place you do not want to fucking go, but yeah, I don't know, it's quite cool. And so, we have our next enemies, the Nobodies. And I'm not making a joke just so I can do the Christopher Lee's voice either, they are called Nobodies. Obviously based on the Odysseus and Cyclops myth, where Odysseus blinded the Cyclops, and, you know, he said that his name was Nobody as he passed through the cave, and then when asked if any had passed through the Cyclops' cave, he replied, "Nobody. I'm Cyclops Christopher Lee. Goodbye." But in terms of enemy dynamics, actually, yeah, the Nobodies, they have 2 distinctive phases, the first of which is their quick crawler mode when they're small, the other of which is when they put on that mask as you saw in that brief little cutscene. And, well, yeah, they hit hard, they shoot out their little T-virus eyeballs, and, well, they explode. And be careful you don't get caught in the explosion residue either, because it does hurt you, very similar to, well, what happens when the shadows explode. In terms of Resident Evil topography, though, topography? No, that's the wrong turn of phrase to use. In terms of Resident Evil, etymology, I suppose. Yeah. These creatures were basically an alternate variant of the Lickers. You will be able to see it a little bit better during the concept art, but yeah, they obviously gave them a more skeletal appearance, but even in their current form now, you can still see how very, you know, swift on their feet there are, and, yeah, let's just say that the Lickers, have some DNA with these creatures. I don't know, they make for very effective enemies, and, I mean, given the fact that Tony Redgrave didn't have devil powers, he would have had his work cut out for him, and, by the way, this right here, coming up. That is fucking beautiful. A little bit more so on the PS2 version, where, you know, you had a few more, graphical effects, you know, just playing into that visual, but, yeah. That's what I think of when I think of hell, just this extra-dimensional void where you're not fucking getting out, and, it creates some very surreal imagery, and, you know, props to, you know, the art designers and the graphics programmers in this game, man. They did a fucking immaculate job of creating this very ethereal realm, and, you know, it's this sort of thing right here that, I feel like later games in the series kind of skimp out on. You know, really sort of capturing the dread and terror of hell, which, I mean, I guess sort of for obvious reasons, considering the fact that the later games in the series wanted to pride, you know, Dante on being more, you know, like, oh, jelly and jam time, chimichangas, gotta juice kids, with all his catchphrases and not taking things seriously or whatever, but I don't know, there's just something about Devil May Cry 1 and even 2 to that extent, in the sense where they really sort of captured the whole idea that, you know, demons and everything are powerful creatures and frightening, and that it's only your demonic powers that allow you to stand toe-to-toe with them. But I don't know, I mean, I want to stress, I do still like the later games in the series, including 3, for as many disparaging things as I have said about it. It's just that I just don't feel like the later games in the series compare to the sort of tone and storyline of the first 2 games. And I mean, I know some people might find that to be very incredulous to say, given people's reactions to Devil May Cry 2, but honestly, that's just how I feel, and I'm gonna stand by that opinion. In any case, though, now that we have the Philosopher's Stone, oh no, I guess we gotta have a crossover with Harold Potter and the Chamber of Shit or whatever. And now we just sort of continue onwards. And anyway, this is what happens if you use the platforming. If you were going to get the secret ore beforehand. Yeah, those platforms do actually collapse, so yeah, if you fall down, then you basically gotta defeat all the Sargassos once again, and that's pretty much all she wrote, with your health gradually draining. So, yeah, very much the exact same thing as you had before. Although a bit of an odd discrepancy here really is in the sense that, well, you know, we had an underwater section here where we're pretty much controlling Dante normally, but then we have other controls of Dante swimming, so, bizarre gameplay changes, I suppose. In any case, though, let's, say goodbye to the normal world for the time being, because now it is time for Dante to go to the underworld, where Vergil used to be, until he tried to take on Mundus and failed, like a little bitch. If not the best thing to describe Vergil. Despite all his luster power, he was just a little bitch. And now he is also a little bitch who avoids paying child support and his responsibilities. In any case, use the Philosopher's Stone, and thus, the very entrance that Phantom once used to break her way down to the cathedral is in fact the way to the underworld. Curious. But in any case, though, I don't think there's anything right beneath the cathedral, unless of course I double check that at some stage, but yeah. In any case, portal down, dive in, and, well, hell awaits. And our ranking is an A rank. I'm not used to doing very well at video games, so, yeah, this is, quite surprising territory for me. Oh well. Hang on a second, some of the audio's lagging. Excuse me for a second, teleport. And there we go, instantaneous cut, because, well, yeah, just kinda had to resync the audio a little bit. In any case, mission 20. Only 3 missions left, actually. The showdown with Nightmare. I wonder who we're gonna be facing off here. But yeah, this is pretty much gonna be here where we say goodbye to Nightmare, our sentient bioweapon, which, is about the most Resident Evil thing you can really sort of say about this entire game. Although, to kind of talk about Resident Evil 4 stuff here, actually, I mean, if this was technically gonna be one of the final areas of the game, you know, having this giant oleaginous biomass sort of taking over the entire Malay Island castle and everything. That only speaks to wonders as to what, you know, our final boss of Oswald Spencer was going to be. I mean, I know I already mentioned it beforehand how he was, well, I might have mentioned in passing, but he was basically going to take the form of a giant, tyrant with, multiple forms, but I don't know, it is quite curious if he would have technically had something kind of similar to, like, well, I guess maybe a bit more of an expanded upon a William Birkin sort of boss fight. You know, like how he gradually grew in mass and size because of the G-Virus, if, you know, Oswald Spencer maybe would have done something like that. I don't know, it would have been quite interesting. Oh, and by the way, and if you were thinking about using Ebony and Ivory to sort of shoot the enemies like that, yeah, the Frosts actually do a backflip and can, you know, stop your ass from juggling them. Stylish. Oh yeah. Now that's the good stuff. Well, I managed to get it just in time for, you know, to get those delicious juicy orbs, so... yeah, not really too much of this mission actually, it's just sort of a prelude of what's to come with this organic, fleshy mess that is the underworld. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. That phrase actually came from the Divine Comedy, by the way. Whoa.
Dante! Dante! Help me!
Trish! Trish, stay back!
Yes, do not worry, Trish. You are not suspicious in the slightest. Well, I mean, I suppose... well, actually, no, Dante does have perfect reason to suspect her, but, yeah. Never mind. Anyway, third time, the last time we'll ever be seeing anything of Nightmare's interior. Well, until Devil May Cry 5, at least, but, it's neither here nor there in this case. But yeah, defeat the Sargassos, and, what we have as our third enemy is, Nilo Angelo. Which does actually bring me to a topic that I wanted to talk about in the previous part, but then I forgot, and then replaced it with another tangent that I did already have about Vergil. Is, to do with, Nightmare... well, no, not Nightmare Sentience, basically, and I did kind of mention this in passing during the cutscene where we finally defeated Vergil, but... again, you saw, you know, in the last cutscene before we got, Devil's Sword Sparta, that, you know, Vergil basically fucking exploded after Dante killed him. Now, I don't know if Devil May Cry 5 explained this, I don't think it ever did, or maybe it might have been in a prequel novel or something, but... how the fuck did Vergil survive getting fucking exploded to death and, you know, not just getting vaporized, but somehow living on until, you know... living on for several fucking years? Because, I mean, bear in mind, like, I mean, after Devil May Cry 1, you know, you had several years between... you know, the anime series which takes place after 1, then you got Devil May Cry 2, then 4, and then the couple of years between that and Devil May Cry 5, where, you know, Nero's often doing his own thing, where Vergil finally shows up, cuts off his arm, and then just says, "Here, thanks, son, yeah," and then splits his soul in half. So, I mean, how did he survive that? Was that ever explained, or is it just another one of those retcon things, like... whatever. I really don't know what to fucking say. Part of the reason why Vergil came back and, you know what, fuck it, I might as well spoil this on the off chance that I never cover 5, is that, you know, character popularity. I did mention Vergil being a deadbeat dad, and that's, all I'm gonna say about it for now. And not just in past tense either, I mean, future tense. He will abandon his son, once again. Yeah, but in any case, I've ranted enough about Vergil, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably getting tired of that, so, let's speak a little bit more about, Nightmare in and of itself. Yeah, basically, I'm not really sure where I read this up. I think it was either fan speculation or I think it might have been in the enemy files, but yeah, basically, Nightmare has the intellect of a child, and, well, yeah, it's only used to serving a master, and when it gets hurt enough, as you're going to be seeing shortly, actually, you know, because, bear in mind, Trish is working for Mundus, you know, much in the same way that Beatrice was, in the upper echelons of, God's service, back in the Divine Comedy, so... yeah, naturally, since Dante is kind of winning all over the shop, despite Nightmare's power, yeah, seems that, Trish is gonna be offering him a little bit of a hand.
You fool! You're so easy!
Trish, you?
Humans. What sweets. You should know better than to trust a stranger. Your presence has become a hindrance to my master's bloody scheme. Now die!
So yeah, Trish is basically just there to give little lightning pot shots going, yeah, I'll harm you. But yeah, at this stage, Nightmare is basically freaking out because, well again, as I mentioned, it has a very childlike intellect and it's, well, it's pretty much throwing everything right up to the fucking wind really and just, basically just going, oh my god, 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 while Dante finishes it off, so, yeah. This is pretty much its freakout stage, and, yeah, you might end up getting pipped a fair bit here, so, just keep on your toes and make sure that you can defeat this thing good and proper. But, in any case, that's, yeah, I wasn't taking any chances at this stage, so, I'm Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll catch you dudes and dudettes next time. Bye-bye.
Dante! Dante, why did you save my life?
Because you look like my mother. Now get out of my sight. The next time we meet, it won't be like this.
Dante!
Don't come any closer, you devil! You may look like my mother, but you're nowhere close to her! You have no soul. You have the face, but you'll never have her fire!